Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
That's Eric Swalwell, Fang Fang's boyfriend, and he's no good. Could he actually become the next governor of California? California is a great, big, prestigious state. To a punk like him, is it possible? Well, we had something going good. Thanks to Joel Gilbert, he figured out that he's ineligible to be governor because he doesn't live in California. And he made his case in court. It looks to me like they shirked their responsibilities, but he'll tell us exactly what happened. Joel Gilbert, welcome back. So take us through it. We're not going to get judicial relief, it sounds like, right?
It looks like not. He declared his Washington, D.C. residence as his primary principal residence on his mortgage documents. And then when he ran for governor in California, he told on his candidate statement, he said his home address was his lawyer's address. So I did sue him in court, tried to get the Secretary of State to not certify him to run for governor. And it all went down very quickly. This past Monday, I had this Judge Chang. She had a big attitude. She said because of a congressional law in California, 2026, says if you run for Congress, you don't have to give an address. And that's why she let him slide. And she ignored the California Constitution, which has very strict residency rules of 5 years for a governor candidate. I appealed to the Appeals Court, 3rd District. 4 hours later, they turned me down. I appealed to the California Supreme Court. They took 2 days, and they also denied it. Now, the interesting thing is I forced Swalwell to submit a declaration in this case to the court swearing that he lived in California without giving an address, of course. But in doing so, I think he exposed himself to mortgage fraud charges in Washington, D.C., because you can't have two principal residences. So that might be something that comes out of it. I also found out in researching him that he had paid his child care expenses for 5 years, over $300,000 to his campaign, when you're only allowed to charge specific to campaign events. So I put in an FEC complaint on him, actually, on my website, swalwellisdisqualified.com, and one of the people he paid to was this Brazilian nanny that, to me, it looked like she had overstayed her visa for 2 years, and he was using an illegal worker. So that's all been exposed. So there's more to come. Definitely Swalwell has a chance because he's appealing to this radical far-left voter base, and he figures if I get 15%, I'll be in the top two in the runoff, and once you're in the top two and you're a Democrat, you could win. So that's his strategy.
Well, I don't like it. And that could actually work out that way. I can't believe it. I don't think we've ever had, usually a superstar of some type becomes a governor. Jerry Brown, right? I mean, the guy had been around for, whatever. Even Gavin Newsom, mayor of San Francisco. Pete Wilson was a U.S. senator. Let's see, who the hell else? Ronald Reagan, of course, was a big shot.
Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, some slouchy, not good congressman, a joke like him becoming governor. It's got to appall even Democrats. There are certain Democrats who are like, this can't be happening.
Well, look, he's lined up a lot of endorsements from all these labor unions, doctors, SEIU. Every day he's got some new endorsement. So I am very concerned that the fix might be in for him. We saw that the courts are fixed for him. The labor movement is in for him. And he thinks if I just keep up my far-left anti-Trump radical rhetoric, I'll get my 15% and I'll make it to the runoff. So it is a great concern. I think he's a total lunatic. He has no policies whatsoever. He's got no brains. He had an affair with a Chinese spy, for God's sakes, when he was on the Intelligence Committee. I uncovered some of his college writings where he was glorifying these cop killers, even though his father was a cop. I think that might be his underlying psychology. He's mad at his dad. But in college, he demanded that Leonard Peltier and Abu Jamal be freed. He called them political prisoners. He wrote some creepy poetry. So I think this guy's a mess. Even worse is that California has a $500 billion budget. And I looked up Swalwell's finances. When you look at his disclosures for Congress, he hasn't paid off his student debts. He still owes $100,000. He owes $100,000 in credit cards. He cashed out his pension. So this guy's like a financial mess, and somehow thinks he can run a state. It can't happen.
Well, it can happen, but it's happening. That's just weird. Let me just ask you one more thing here. If it does happen, can they get him? Is this impeachable? I mean, he's violating the California state constitution. Is there any way you can impeach him on this crap?
Look, there's no question. There could be more legal challenges. I went to the Supreme Court of California. There are certain federal challenges you can do that have a very low chance of success. Certain people could do it. I really took it as far as I could without a lawyer. But he would be an illegitimate governor because he does not meet the California Constitution requirements of having a home in California for 5 years. His campaign worker put in this bogus declaration saying this little 1,300 square foot house where she lives with her husband, child, and dog, that she had rented it out to Swalwell. Now, I then provided the court with evidence that she takes a homestead exemption every year for $7,000 on that house, which requires her to live there. New York Post sent out a reporter, and they saw there's this dog, the German Shepherd, there's people in the house. They talked to the neighbors. They said they never saw Swalwell. And even Tom Steyer's campaign helped me out. They looked up Swalwell's visitations to his district, and they found out every time he visited, he stayed in the Rose Hotel, this 5-star hotel. So the whole idea that he rents a house or rents a room is completely not true. And yes, I think he would be subject to being removed because he does not meet the criteria to become governor.